What's up, crypto family? Welcome back to Goldrush Crypto Daily, your home for breaking down the biggest moves, trends, and opportunities in the crypto markets. Now, I know a lot of you have been asking about today's topic in the comments, and honestly, I'm glad you did, because for the very first time on this channel, we're diving deep into Zebec Network, a project that's quickly making waves in one of the most important sectors of crypto, blockchain-powered payments. This isn't just another meme coin or hype-driven project. Zebec is building something real, infrastructure for payroll, streaming money, and real-time payments. And trust me, the headlines we've seen lately, from winning major awards in the US to preparing for one of the biggest financial conferences in the world to bullish chart setups that traders are watching very closely, all point to 2025 being the year of Zebec. So in today's video, we're going to break down what Zebec actually is, why it matters, the latest price action, and where analysts think it could be headed both short-term and long-term. If you're new here, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell for daily crypto breakdowns. And as always, this is not financial advice. Always do your own research before investing in any project. All right, let's get into it. So let's start from the top. What exactly is Zebec Network, and why should you care? Zebec is a next-generation payments protocol designed to bring real-time, programmable money streaming to the blockchain world. Think about payroll. Instead of getting paid every 2 weeks or once a month, imagine getting paid every second your time is worked. That's the kind of innovation Zebec is pioneering. Now, if that sounds futuristic, it's because it is. But the interesting part is that Zebec isn't just an idea. It already has working infrastructure and partnerships to back it up. Here's how to think about it. Zebec sits in the same category as projects like XRP, Stellar, XLM, and Hedera Hashgraph, HBAR. These are all networks focused on payments, settlement, and financial rails. And this category of crypto is extremely important because it tackles one of the biggest real-world industries, payments, which is a multi-trillion-dollar global market. Zebec's market cap right now is about $353 million, with roughly $9 million in daily trading volume. That's not tiny, but it's also not anywhere near giants like XRP, and that's actually an opportunity because smaller cap projects that execute well can deliver much higher upside for early investors. As for price action, ZBCN is currently trading around $0.0037, down about 3% on the day and showing a slight downtrend for the week. But again, this shouldn't spook anyone. The overall market has been choppy lately with downwards movement across most altcoins. Here's the bullish case. Zebec's current setup reminds me a lot of $XCN back in early 2025. When I first spotted XCN, it had a $90 million market cap. A few months later, it did a 20x run. Of course, past performance doesn't guarantee future results, but the conditions feel similar. Zebec has working products, strong use cases, and a relatively modest market cap. If momentum shifts bullish in Q4, this could be a token to watch very closely. And don't forget, Zebec isn't playing in a niche. Payments are the heart of finance. Everyone from regulators to Fortune 500 companies is paying attention to blockchain payment infrastructure. If Zebec continues to execute, it could position itself as a major player in one of the most lucrative corners of the entire crypto space. Now that you've got the basics on Zebec, let's talk about the major recognition it just received and why this is such a big deal for mainstream adoption. According to Zebec's official account, the project was honored with the Gold Medallion Award at the annual Azure 50 conference, hosted by Asure Software, one of the largest payroll companies in the United States. If you're not familiar with Azure, this is no small-time outfit. They process billions of dollars in payroll volume for over 2 million employees across the country. So for Zebec to be recognized as a key partner in bringing stablecoin payroll innovation to Azure's ecosystem, that's massive. Why does this matter? Because one of the biggest questions around crypto is always adoption. Can it actually work in the real world? And here we have a traditional payroll giant effectively validating Zebec's approach. That's credibility you just can't buy. It also signals that Zebec isn't just another crypto project chasing hype. They're building real-world integrations with established companies. And if Zebec is successful in pushing stablecoin payroll mainstream through partners like Azure, it could unlock a wave of adoption far beyond just crypto-native users. From a bullish perspective, this award basically tells us Zebec has already entered the conversation at the highest levels of payroll and HR infrastructure in the U.S. And remember, payroll is a massive industry. In the U.S. alone, it's worth over $2 trillion annually. Even a small slice of that pie flowing through blockchain rails would be huge. Now, while recognition is great, the market also cares a lot about price action and technical setups. So let's take a look at what traders are seeing on the charts right now. One of the most interesting posts making rounds on X came from at OCT_trades, who highlighted a bullish pattern forming on Zebec's chart. Here's the setup. Zebec just had a positive test of support around current levels. The RSI indicator is showing a similar development to what we saw back in July. And the breakout level is around $0.0043. For those who don't know, RSI, the Relative Strength Index, is a momentum indicator that helps traders see if an asset is overbought or oversold. An RSI below 30 can suggest oversold conditions, while above 70 can suggest overbought. Right now, Zebec's RSI is showing signs of reversal, which often points to a potential bounce. Here's the kicker. The last time Zebec showed this same pattern, back in June, the token broke out and moved over 2x in a matter of days. That doesn't guarantee we'll see the same thing again, but the similarities are enough to make traders pay close attention. If Zebec can break through that $0.0043 resistance level, the charts suggest we could see another strong rally. Combine that with everything else going on, the partnerships, the awards, the roadmap, and it paints a very compelling short-term picture. My personal take? Even though technicals look good, I'd still stress patience. Breakouts only matter if they actually confirm. But the setup here is undeniably bullish, and it lines up with the broader narrative we're seeing with Zebec this year. Speaking of the bigger picture, let's zoom out and talk about Zebec's 2025 roadmap, because this is where things get really exciting. Crypto analyst at CryptoQN007 recently pulled together a list of everything Zebec has been doing this year, and it's honestly impressive. Here are some of the highlights. A CEO AMA back in February to lay out the vision. Discussions with Ripple in October about potential partnerships. A strong emphasis on achieving SOC 2 compliance, which is basically an industry standard for data security and trust. Building out DePIN infrastructure, decentralized physical infrastructure networks, which is a growing trend in blockchain. And here's the big one. Zebec's talks with Ripple could be a game changer. Ripple already provides deep institutional liquidity solutions, while Zebec is focused on programmable payroll and payment streaming. Put those two together and you get the possibility of a powerful combination that blends institutional adoption with real-world utility. Now, it's not all sunshine. Despite the ambitious roadmap, Zebec's token has been slightly underperforming the overall crypto market in recent weeks. That's led some investors to question whether the project can actually deliver on all its promises. But here's my bullish spin. The fact that Zebec is prioritizing compliance and scalability tells me they're thinking long-term. And in an industry where so many projects collapse due to poor execution or regulatory pushback, that approach could set Zebec apart. And that brings us to the grand stage, because Zebec isn't just talking big, they're showing up where it matters most. Let's talk about Sibos 2025. According to at Midas G 57,703, Zebec will be presenting at Sibos 2025 in Frankfurt. And if you don't know what Sibos is, let me tell you, this is not your average crypto conference. Sibos is where the biggest players in finance gather, banks, regulators, payment giants, to basically set the agenda for the next decade of global finance. And Zebec isn't just attending. They're coming in strong with full MiCA compliance for the European market, access to the $8 trillion EU payroll market, 15-chain MasterCard cards already in place, real point-of-sale devices live in action, and most importantly, no direct rivals when it comes to payroll rails. While other projects are fighting over cross-border corridors, Zebec is positioning itself as the go-to infrastructure for daily life payments. That's a bold claim. But if they pull it off, it could cement their place as a leader in the payment space. Think about it. Regulatory clarity, enterprise partnerships, compliance with MiCA, and access to multi-trillion-dollar markets. That's the kind of combination that doesn't just create hype, it creates adoption, So where does all this leave us? Let's wrap up with some final thoughts and takeaways. All right, crypto family, let's bring it all together. Today we introduced Zebec Network, a project building the future of programmable payments and payroll streaming. We looked at its current market cap and price action, compared it to other payment giants like XRP and Stellar, and highlighted why its positioning is so bullish. We covered the huge recognition Zebec just received from Asure Software, one of the biggest payroll providers in the US, proving that mainstream players are paying attention. We broke down the bullish technical analysis setup, pointing to a potential breakout above $0.0043. We went over Zebec's ambitious 2025 roadmap, including Ripple partnership talks and compliance milestones, and finally we talked about Sibos 2025, where Zebec is stepping onto the global stage with regulators, banks, and payment giants. My overall sentiment, bullish, very bullish. Zebec is in a $1 trillion market. It has real-world validation, strong compliance focus, and it's showing up at the right places. Yes, execution is key. Yes, the market can always surprise us. But if Zebec delivers, it could be one of the standout projects of this cycle. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Zebec has what it takes to compete with giants like XRP and Stellar? What's your price target for ZBCN in Q4 2025? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'll be reading them all. And if you found this breakdown helpful, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss tomorrow's deep dive. We've got a packed schedule of market updates coming your way. As always, this is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Until next time, stay bullish, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.